Hey guys, it's Cayley. I'm back with another What Sold from last week video. In today's video, I'll be going over all of my sales that happened on eBay and Poshmark last week. I'll do a breakdown into the numbers about how much it cost me to get those items listed and sold, and then we'll do a deep dive into some of the hand-selected items that I've picked to show you today, tell you about why they sold for how much they did. If you're interested in learning more about reselling, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell down below. That way you'll get notified every time I post new content. Let's jump into the sales. Okay, so everything that you see here on this spreadsheet, those sales happened between April 3rd through April 9th. That is a Sunday through a Saturday, and that is how I calculate my weeks. That is also how each of the platforms calculate their weeks, so it's just really easy to pull from their spreadsheets and put it on over to mine, and that's where these numbers came from. As you can see, I had a record-breaking week. We, to my knowledge, have not broken over 4,000 in gross sales in 1 week before. So that was a really great milestone for us to hit. I was super excited about that, especially when it's almost $4,300. It actually was $4,600 but I had a $300 leather jacket get returned. Otherwise, it would also be moving on its way up to 5,000. So either way, even with that return calculated and factored into here, still had a record-breaking week with almost $4,300 in gross sales. And that was between two platforms, eBay and Poshmark. We sold a total of 130 items between those two platforms. Gross sales were $4,299.22, making an average sale price of $33.07, and our estimated cost of goods based on average buy cost was $520. And estimated net, which is our gross sales less our cost of goods, our fees, and our shipping costs, was $2,687.31. On eBay, we sold 87 items for a gross sales total of just over $2,700. And then on Poshmark, we sold 43 items for almost $1,600. We are going to dive right into the sales. You can see I've got quite a bit of them. And I try to include our better sales so you know what you can get at the thrift store and get the most bang for your buck. Some below items to look for. So first of which, this is a pretty tried and true brand for me. It is Olukai. They make kind of comfort slash kind of surfer beachy looking shoes, and in the men's department these perform extremely well. They are pretty noticeable because they have this logo right here that almost looks like a, I guess, like a horseshoe. In the men's department, they do really well. In the women's department, they can also do good depending on style, but I pick almost everything up in the men's, and these leather convertible slip-on shoes do really well for me in this brand. It's kind of like their classic shoe style. I paid only $4.99 for this at a thrift store, and it sold for a full asking price of $40.47. And I just know people are going to ask. I do pricing based on dates, so I have the cents end in a certain number based on when we list the item, and that's just a way for me to track it. But on some of these, I've dropped the prices by a percentage amount. So if you see something kind of wacky like this, that is where something has sat too long and we've dropped the price. When I say sat too long, we've started decreasing prices once it hits 90 days. So that's what this is right here. And even though it did sit for a few months, still a solid seller for me, and I still continue to pick up Olukai. Next up is Everlane. This is a brand that no longer has a super high sell-through rate for me, but I still really love picking up. In particular, I seem to have good luck with their sweatpants and their loungewear items. This one's made out of organic cotton, and they're just a pair of really plain pull-on sweatpants, women's size medium. Paid $4.99 for these. They sold on an offer to watchers for $36.36. We've been having some really good luck with some Athleta pieces lately. What we try to look for is the ones that have the specific style name written out underneath the brand. That is usually a good indicator that it is a style worth getting. These are called the Delancey Moto Tight, and I would just say in general, this moto style that you see here in athletic wear is trending pretty good and tends to add value. I paid $3.99 for this at a thrift store. It sold for a full asking price of $44.93. Next up is a pair of Eileen Fisher plain casual pants, but these are a size 3X, which really helped to up the value. I pretty much pick up everything Eileen Fisher. But obviously I would prefer to get the ones in larger sizes or in more natural materials. But either way, I still pick it up. It is a very tried and true brand for me. I paid $4.69 for this, and they sold for a full asking price of $44.91. This is something that I have been sitting on for a while. I actually think I paid too much for this. I originally picked this up on ThredUp. I paid $16.24 for it. That is the price of the cost after discounts and things like that. But this brand's pretty recognizable, and even though it doesn't have a high sell-through rate, meaning it does not sell very quickly, I tend to pick it up because it does have a pretty consistently high average selling price. This is Arata Silent Journey, and most of the time their tops have a really interesting contrast back. I thought this was really pretty, and I picked it up. Paid a little bit too much for it. Like I said, I paid a little over $16. I did still make a decent profit. It ended up selling for $42.90, but it was an item that I had to sit on and eventually drop the price on. But if you come across this at a thrift store for $5 or less and you're willing to sit on the item, I do think that this is a really good brand to sell, and it's really easy to spot. This is a Free People item that I picked up at the bins. We're getting a lot more picky with Free People. I'm typically looking for sweaters, dresses, and jackets in this brand now. We try to steer away from the tops unless we are at the bins. This one was a dress, and we did find it at the bins, so all in all, win-win there. We also try to look for the midi to maxi length. That is going to give you a higher average selling price. So pick this up at the bins, probably paid about $3 for it. It did sell for a full asking price of $39.91. We could not find the exact style name on this, so we just listed as is, and sometimes you have to do that. Still sold, still a cute piece. Here's another Athleta item. This one had Nuba tags on it, and it also had the style name, which were called the Cabo Linen Wide Leg Pant. Obviously, Nuba tags is going to up the value as well as linen. I tend to pick up anything linen in Athleta. I find that their linen pieces do really well for us. Paid $4.39 for this. It sold on an offer to watchers for $35.92. This is another bins pickup. We just picked this up and we actually took a chance on it. It is called Ewer. Wish I had a better picture of the tag. I think it just says it on the garment down here. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Y-O-U-E-R. This was featured in a bins haul, and this is kind of a thermal waffle skirt. And Nikki found this. We didn't know if we were going to pick it up or not. We decided to go ahead and go with it because it was made in the USA and it was made out of sustainable materials. And even though there wasn't a lot of information about it, I find that sustainable clothing made out of sustainable materials, and that's kind of how they promote their brand, does extremely well for me. So since we were picking up at the bins, we did decide to take a chance on it, and I'm glad we did because it sold extremely quickly. Kind of makes me think maybe we priced it too low, but it sold extremely quickly on an offer for $35.95. We originally priced this at $39.94, and like I said, it sold almost immediately. This is a pretty tried and true brand for us as well. It is Sacred Threads. They have really like patchy, bohemian looking stuff. I thought this was a really cool patchwork jacket, and so I picked it up for $4.99, and it sold on an offer for $30. These are just a pair of American Eagle jeans. We paid $6.99 for these. That is now the going rate at my regular Goodwills, so I have to be a little bit more selective. But even though I'm paying $6.99, I thought this would sell very quickly because they are a men's pair of American Eagle jeans. They were the Air Flex denim, which is the type of material, and you can usually see it on the waistband right here. Plus they were distress, and all of those things really add value in American Eagle jeans. So I paid $6.99 for it. It sold for $27.92. Here's another pair of men's jeans. These are by the brand BKE, and these are sold at Buckle. This is the Jake style. I don't think I've ever come across a style in BKE men's jeans that has not done well, so we pretty much pick everything up. I paid a little up for these as well. I paid $7.99. They sold on an offer for $30. I'm willing to pick up for something that I know is going to flip very, very quickly, and so that's why we've picked these up for $7.99. Next up is a pair of women's jeans. These are silver jeans. I've mentioned picking up silver jeans in the past. This is a newer label. We got this at the bins. I am becoming more selective on this brand. We used to say pick up everything in this brand, but again, we are becoming more selective. So this is a more modern style. They are the girlfriend denim. I find that the girlfriend style does really well. And then just overall, the size, 16 is a larger size. And so all those factors combined is why we picked these up. I paid probably a few bucks for these just because of the weight at the bins, but they did sell for a full asking price of $29.93. Here's another Eileen Fisher piece. This one we paid $4.99 for. This is a more natural material, and so we picked it up. It is a hemp blend sweater jacket, hemp and organic cotton. Anything like this in Eileen Fisher, absolutely we're picking up. We paid $4.99 and it sold on an offer for $36. This is a newer brand to me, and it has an outstanding sell-through rate. I couldn't believe I hadn't heard of it before. If you come across this brand, definitely absolutely worth getting. Very high sell-through rate. This is an American Giant women's top. They also make men's pieces, which I think perform better than the women's, but even the women's do extremely well. So this is a women's just plain black Henley t-shirt. If you came across it, you might not think it's anything. To me, the tag does not look very special, but it is made in the USA and it does feel really nice. Paid only $2.99 for this, and it sold for a full asking price of $29.92. Keep your eye out for this brand. Last one on eBay before we hop on over to Poshmark is one of my favorite brands to sell. It is Denim and Supply by Ralph Lauren. This line is no longer sold, I believe, so if you find it, it is a little bit more rare, and I pick up almost all of the men's pieces in this brand. This is a flannel shirt, and this one happened to be new with tags, which is the main reason that we picked them up. We paid $6.99 for it, so a little bit up, but again, we know that it has a really high sell-through rate, so that's why we're willing to pick it up for $6.99, and it sold very quickly for $29.63. Moving on over to Poshmark, this was definitely a high price sale, and as you can probably tell from the photos, I have been sitting on this for a while, and sometimes when you have higher priced items, you are going to sit on them for a while. I still think it's worth getting. This is the brand Spruce by Steven Spruce. I believe this is a designer that either used to work or does work for one of the more luxury brands. Cannot remember for the life of me which one it is. But if you come across Steven Spruce, the vintage pieces are really good. Again, you might have to sit on it because they are priced pretty high. For instance, when this was listed on Poshmark, I recently dropped the price on it just because of how long it had been sitting. I think I had it listed for $400 or maybe $450, and Poshmark was even suggesting to me to list it between $350 and like $425. So this brand typically sells for quite a bit. Keep your eye out for it. This is a vintage 1980s true vintage tinsel cocktail dress. And, you know, just looking at it doesn't look like anything special, but in this case, it is all about the brand. So if you come across this, definitely, absolutely, I would pick it up. I don't think thrift stores know about it because I only paid $2.99 for this. Again, I have been sitting on this for quite a while, but I'm still happy I picked it up. As soon as I dropped the price to $350, somebody purchased it. So really happy with that return on investment, and I would definitely pick that up again. This is the brand Sweaty Betty. It used to be a lot more popular. I don't think on eBay, at least, it has a very high sell-through rate, but it seems to sell pretty good on Poshmark. The reason I picked this one up was because it had a unique print. It had that like leaf, olivey, and black print to it. So that's the reason I kind of took a chance on this one and went against the sell-through rate. I paid $4.39 for it. It sold for $34. This is Lululemon. I think we all know that Lululemon does pretty well, but this was a size 10 and it was a skirt. Skirt is just a skirt with shorts underneath built in. Lululemon does well. Athleta does well. A lot of the athletic wear brands in a skirt style do very well. So I just wanted to bring this up because skirts last year and this year are performing very well for us. Paid only $3.99 at a thrift store and it sold for $55. This was a Patagonia fleece pullover that I purchased for myself for $20. I wore it during this past winter season and it ended up selling for $55 very quickly. I priced a little lower to get it moving because we are moving into warmer weather and I want to see my colder items move out. That way they don't become out of style. Now, Patagonia cinchillas, I doubt will ever go out of style, but you just never know, and you want to make room for newer items when the colder weather rolls around again. So I paid $20, again, personal item, and it sold for $55, but even during warmer weather, Patagonias are still selling, so I would not pass them up. This is a brand maybe you guys don't know about. It is Diesel. I really love selling their men's jeans. However, we came across these women's denim Jarrett overall bibs, and they perform really well. Diesel bibs perform really well. We only paid $3.50. It sold for $50, and I wanted to show you this because bib denim overalls perform extremely well in a lot of brands that maybe otherwise do not perform well. So if you come across this style in pretty much any brand, I would look it up because bib overalls do really, really good. This is a pair of Madewell jeans. I've talked about this before, but I still pick up Madewell jeans. Now, they definitely do not have the sell-through rate that they used to, but if you're willing to wait, you can usually get a pretty decent profit on it. These ones I paid $4.99 for. I think I had them listed for $35. They are the 9-inch high-rise skinny and a 32 tall. Someone sent me offers immediately, so I went ahead and accepted and got them moving for $27. I personally like picking up Madewell jeans, but I do understand that they might sit. This is one of my new favorite brands to pick up in the men's department. It is Billy Reed. And this was really good because it was a jacket, so a substantial piece, and it was a size XXL. So for those reasons, we priced this pretty high. Paid $4.39 for it. Our thrift store considered this a sweater, and it sold for $55. If you come across Billy Reed, especially in outerwear, I would definitely pick it up. This is also a brand that is newer to us that we've been liking picking up. It is Faherty. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. I found both men's and women's in this brand, and regardless of the comps that I see, it performs very, very, very well. It does not have a whole lot of information on eBay, but what I could see was selling. So I've been picking up consistently, and it has been selling pretty quickly for us. These are just a pair of men's floral leaf shorts. We picked this up at the bins, probably cost us a couple bucks, and they sold for $27. This is a Zara women's faux leather or vegan leather coat. And I picked this up because of the faux leather. It was a pretty substantial piece. Zara is one of those you really got to be careful about and look for the more unique pieces. I personally thought this was, and it was a size extra large. I paid up for this. I paid $8.50 and it sold for $50. So I was really happy with that return on investment. And then this last one was probably the most surprising sale for me. I've been taking a chance on some different brands in men's jeans, and I've been really surprised. So this is INC, which is International Concepts. Not typically a brand that I would pick up. However, these look like a really modern pair of jeans, and they had a specific style name, which were called the Copenhagen Slim Bootcut jeans. And they were in a pretty decent size, a 38 by 30. As you can see, again, modern details, modern pockets. So I took a chance on them. We paid only $3.99 for them because, again, this is not typically a high sell brand, so I don't think your thrift stores are going to price them up very high. It sold almost immediately for $35 on Poshmark. I was really surprised by that sale. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if you've sold this brand before in men's jeans, because I was shocked. Again, it was something we took a chance on, but I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this brand in the men's department more often now, because we do come across this brand pretty often. Alright guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Again, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.